Thank you for joining us today on Surrey on the Go. We're here with Surrey County School Superintendent Dr. Travis Reeves. This is the first of many regular interviews we hope to have with our school superintendents here in Surrey County to keep folks more informed about what's going on with our public school system. Travis, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, glad to be with you, Nathan.
What are some exciting things going on in the school system?
Well, the first thing today is Friday, March the 10th. Spring break's next week. That's probably high on everyone's list. Everyone's excited about spring break.
Right.
I think this school year has been exciting because we've been able to come back to a sense of normalcy.
Right.
And 2.5 years, 3 years, COVID, students being away, adults being away, hybrid schedules. This has just really been a good year for us to get everybody back together, create a schedule that's been more normal, a schedule that's, I think, helped our students and helped our staff. So I'm excited about that to begin with. We've got a lot of exciting things happening, especially here as the springtime rolls around. I think first and foremost, we're building an agriculture facility on the campus of Surrey Central High School as a joint use facility project with Surrey Community College. So we've got it's a barn. We call it a live animal lab because our students, it's really a classroom. Our ag students from Surrey Central High School and the ag students from Surrey Community College will be using this facility. We'll have animals there. Nice facility. It's fenced in. It was funded by the North Carolina General Assembly. So we're really excited about this. We'll have a ribbon cutting later this spring when we have the barn complete. We're working on the interior of the barn. Some of the students from Surrey Community College are constructing an office / maintenance room to keep all of our goods locked up. And we're excited about this facility. Obviously, if you think about Surrey County, agriculture is our #1 industry. We focused a lot of resources on ag education in our school system. And we think it's good for us to continue to look at what has fed us in the past and what will feed us in the future. And our students, whether they want to be a large commercial farmer or maybe they just want to grow some vegetables in the garden, it's real important for them to understand where food comes from and how to sustain agriculture, especially the business of agriculture here in Surrey County.
Right.
We also, just while I'm on the ag line, we also have just started a middle school ag program. We're 3 years into the program, and we've got a real exciting teacher, Miss Lauren Murphy. We just started an FFA program for our middle school students.
Okay.
So the organization was just chartered. Had a big meeting there at Meadowview. It's for all of our four middle schools. So we're really excited about that. We've got a lot of students competing in Skills USA competitions, debate competitions, art exhibits, science fairs. So this is kind of the time of the year where kids have worked all throughout the school year, and now it's coming to fruition. Their hard work is coming to fruition. So a lot of exciting things happening in our school system, and none of this would be possible without the dedicated employees and the dedicated teachers in our schools.
Travis, believe it or not, I enjoyed FFA myself in high school. Mm-hmm. I'm excited to hear that's a part of the middle school program.
Yep.
I've never heard of that. Is that pretty rare?
There are some middle school programs throughout the state. It's rare for this region.
Okay.
And I know Miss Murphy, she's working really closely with our ag teachers at the high schools, and they've created a really tight-knit group. And she's getting a lot of support from the state organization. So you do see some larger rural school systems, especially in the east, with some middle school ag programs, but I'm not aware of any locally or even in our region. Maybe they exist. But we're just really proud of Miss Murphy.
Right.
Her energy, her enthusiasm, and her passion for wanting to make this program special. Right. So I think really the sky's the limit.
Right. That's awesome. That's exciting to me. Travis, what would you like parents to know about their children? I know that's a general question, but from your experience and your job, what would you like to tell them?
Well, I think parents, you already know this. Kids love structure.
Right.
And kids love love, and kids love structure with love. And I know I don't have to tell you that as a parent of two myself, but our students have so much to offer. I'm often amazed when I walk into classrooms and I see kids operating at a high level and doing some really technical work with critical thinking skills and being able to reason and rationalize why they're maybe coming to this decision. We just have so many talented students. And so I would just say this, whether it's your child or maybe a friend of a child, set the bar high. And I believe kids will rise to that occasion, and kids will often exceed our expectations. Set the bar high for our children and all the children in Surry County.
Right. And on the flip side of that, what would you like the students to know about their parents?
Parents are always right. Right?
Love it.
Yes, parents are right. Listen to your parents. They're going to be right. Really ask questions from your parents. Ask them, where do you work? What do you do at work? What's important about your job?
Right.
Why do you work where you work? I think students, your mom and dad and grandparents and aunts and uncles, they have a wealth of experience, a wealth of knowledge.
Right.
Use it. Listen. Ask good questions. I think the one thing about education, I will say now, more than ever, it's changed since all of us went to school. Mm-hmm. We have to be intentional with our time, intentional with our work, and intentional with our resources. Mm-hmm. And I say all those things because I want those middle school students or elementary students or high school students to really think, not that they have to plan your whole career, but really, start asking those questions early, because we want students in Surry County schools, when they walk across the stage, when they graduate, we want them to have a plan.
Right.
Not that they have to have everything figured out, but a student with a plan is a student with a purpose.
Right.
And a student with a purpose is a student that's going to be successful. And adults can help students be purposeful.
Right.
Can be students with adults in their lives who are successful can help our students be successful. So ask. We can never ask enough questions.
Right. Agreed. All right, on to a more serious topic. I know that bullying can be an issue in some schools. I know that's another broad topic, but what can you tell us about that?
You're right. Bullying is a problem. It's a problem across our nation. It's a problem in our schools. And I don't just say Surry County schools, but I think as a society, it's our job as educators and really our job as community members to help each other understand what is bullying, what is not bullying, but really how do we overcome it. Mm-hmm. And in Surry County schools, one thing we focused to kind of think about bullying and maybe give kids a systematic way of addressing bullying is through our leadership framework. Mm-hmm. We believe all students can be leaders. We think leadership can be learned. And we start with 3 key principles. Leading self. I can't change you.
Right.
I can only change me.
Right.
I can only change the way I react to a situation. I can only change what I say. And so if we lead self and we understand who we are, we think that's an important part of being a part of a greater community, a classroom, maybe it's a sports team, maybe it's a club. So key principle number 1, lead self. Key principle number 2 is leading with others.
Right.
So we believe students can lead with others when they know and understand others, when they can see things through their viewpoint, when they can collaborate, when they can communicate, and when they're active listeners. The third principle is changing our world. So when you can lead self and lead with others, then you can change our world and influence the greater whole. So we put that leadership framework, we're intentionally helping our students understand so they see themselves as a leader. We're trying to put students in leadership positions, and we're using leadership launch lessons in our classrooms with our teachers, K-12, to try to infuse leadership in what we do in Surry County schools. We believe it's what kind of makes us different and sets us apart, and we also believe that this can have a cascading effect in our community, because if our students act like a leader, think like a leader,
right,
they're going to be a leader.
Correct.
And in turn, we believe our community will do the same.
Right.
One other thing that we've done in our school system to really address bullying is we've created Save Promise teams. And basically this is a club. SAVE stands for Students Against Violence Everywhere.
Right.
And this is a part of the Sandy Hook Promise initiative that we've adopted, and our students meet and regularly to talk about bullying. They talk about things they can do as a collective whole.
Right.
Because again, it's one thing for adults to say to students, hey, stop bullying. It's another thing for students to say, bullying's not cool and it's not going to be tolerated here. What can we do together? So our Save Promise teams are working throughout the school system at each individual school doing campaigns. And I'll give you one good example. One campaign is called Start with Hello. Simply said, start with hello.
Right.
How are you today? Talk to someone you don't know.
Right.
Try to make a friend.
Right.
Use their name. Ask how they're doing. Be a friend to other people. That infuses the leadership framework, and hopefully we believe a kinder school, community, environment, and culture certainly leads to good things. So I have taken the time this year, and I'm meeting with every Save Promise club in every single school. I'm having lunch with them. And so I've learned a lot. So one thing we're going to do is take our Save Promise clubs from the high school and go meet with some of our middle schools.
Cool.
And take our middle school Save Promise clubs and go meet with the elementary schools, because we believe, again, leadership, students, putting those two things together, other students leading students helps us address bullying and helps us tamp down bullying, because it's really nothing that we want to tolerate in our schools.
Right.
So we've got to work together collectively, parents, schools, community, churches, businesses, to really make sure that people realize and understand bullying is just not cool.
Right. Really good message there, Dr. Reeves. You have shared in some of our public meetings about an anonymous tip line. What can you tell us about that?
Well, the Sandy Hook Promise, the group I just mentioned, they provide an anonymous tip line for all school systems in North Carolina. And so this is not just for my school system, but we certainly use this anonymous tip line, and it's monitored by counselors, trained counselors, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And so there's really two different ways. You can call a 1-800 phone number, and we've got that number listed on our website, or you can go into our Surry County Schools website or our mobile app, and students or parents can submit an anonymous tip.
Right.
And so there's various degrees of tips. Some of those tips may deal with self-harm, suicidal ideation. Some of those tips may deal with, hey, I see a stranger on my school campus. It's something's not right about this. And so this group of counselors, they're monitoring this 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They categorize the tips. If we get the tip at 2 a.m. in the middle of the night, they're calling us, especially if it's a situation around self-harm or suicidal ideation. You know, we're going to try to intervene with local law enforcement, healthcare officials, parents, to try to make sure we get help on the way immediately. So it's something that we've utilized. We feel like it gives our students an outlet to be able to express what's really happening without feeling that they may be snitching on a friend. Right. We really want to encourage our students, and we train our students about the tip line, on the tip line, how to submit tips. Really, it's about caring for your fellow friend and caring for mankind. Right. We want to try to promote that in our schools, and so the tip line's been good for us to address some of those crucial areas, and it gives me peace of mind knowing that it's being monitored 24 hours a day.
Good, and you feel like that's being effective to help kids?
Absolutely, yes.
Good deal.
And it's K-12.
K through 12, okay.
Yes, so even elementary students are able to submit the tip line. Now, Sandy Hook, that was kind of an added, I'm having to pay a little bit extra for the elementary feature, but we had another tip line and I didn't want to have two, so we've done this K-12. We don't get as many tips from the elementary school, but it's there, and occasionally we see some of our older students, 4th and 5th grade students, are typically the ones that will submit a tip.
Right. Dr. Reeves, let's switch gears to something much more positive here. I have a pen from Surry Online Magnet School that I picked up at a local event. It seemed that your staff is very invigorated, very energetic, What can you tell us about that school?
Well, Surrey Online Magnet School is it's an innovative approach to education. We started this school during the pandemic. Obviously, we all know what happened during the pandemic, but we saw a need to educate our kids through remote instruction.
Right.
And what we found is that after we came back, we still had students that preferred remote instruction, that liked online learning, that liked virtual learning. So we put together a school. It's a separate school. It has its own school number, its own school principal, with its own teachers, and they're working with. We have almost 100 students enrolled in that school.
Wow.
And what we found is there's a wide array of why you might choose online school. Maybe you just prefer working at your own pace. And maybe you have the self-discipline to be able to do that from home.
Right.
Maybe your mom and dad's work schedule gives them time and you like the freedom and flexibility of online learning. And so that, if you have that self-discipline, we encourage that. At the end of the day, we're trying to provide a personalized learning. We're trying to provide personalized learning for every student, regardless of how they may learn best. And so the Surrey Online Magnet has been a great outlet for many of our students. We have students that are being successful. The school met growth last year, and our teachers and principal, they're working really hard to make this school successful. It's different.
Right.
It takes different skills, it takes different discipline, and I think those are all the things that we've learned post-COVID.
Right.
And so I expect great things to continue to happen with this online magnet school, and we're trying to grow our enrollment within the school. We've not truly advertised outside the county. It's really something we're trying to grow within, but we do have interest from folks outside the county just because of our success. We're not going to just turn students loose and say, here, have at it, teach yourself. Our teachers are closely engaged with students with regular office hours, regular visits, and in fact, we even bring some students together on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I think another thing that kind of sets this magnet school apart from maybe other online schools is the principals really tried to create a sense of community for students, whether it may be field trips, community events, maybe clubs.
Right.
You know, as human beings, we kind of crave social settings.
Right.
You know, God created us to communicate with one another and have relationships with one another and learn from each other. And so, you know, online learning has its pluses, but I think that's one thing that we've tried to also offer is an outlet for our students to get to know one another and be a part of something. And so even the principal, they have their own yearbook.
Really?
So it's still trying to take a slice of the traditional and add to the innovative, and that's Surrey Online Magnet.
Great. I know you've had some successes with some of the students who graduated recently. I was really impressed with a nursing student at a recent public function I attended. It was a great success story, and my props to you guys. Congratulations on having that initiative and being innovative with that, because all children have different needs, right?
That's right.
So, fairly broad, pretty broad question. You know, in my job, every now and then I try to look at specific things I do and grade myself, and then I try to give myself an overall grade because I always want to improve. I know there's always room for improvement. I generally know my strengths pretty well, and I generally know my weaknesses pretty well. So with that said, kind of a difficult question, but what grade would you give Surrey County Schools?
Well, let me ask you this question. What grade did you give yourself, Nathan?
I generally always give myself a B to a C.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm pretty hard on myself. Yeah, yes, sir.
Well, I find educators, we're hard on ourselves too, but I work with a lot of perfectionists, and they want to get it right. And if I gave Surrey County anything less than an A, I'd be shooting myself in the foot, because our folks work really hard, and I know you do too. So
True.
I think you're getting an A today, Nathan.
I appreciate that.
You're getting an A from me, and I give Surrey County Schools an A. We're not perfect. We strive for A+. We have lots of room for growth, but we're going to continue to work hard, create these personalized settings for our students. Our tagline is designing dreams and growing leaders. We kind of believe that kids come to us with really a blank slate.
Right.
And we want to give them the ability to think and dream and really design their own education.
Right.
Because I believe if you're intrinsically motivated, you're going to be motivated to complete.
Right.
You're going to be motivated to do things you want to do, not things I want you to do. And so if you have some part of designing your own dream, then it's something you're going to complete. And we want you to continue to grow as a leader. And that's even true for our adults. And so I think our school system's doing really good. We're in a beautiful county. We've got great parents, and we have great students. And that's something we can't ever take for granted in Surry County.
Travis, I know the state of North Carolina generally ranks Surry County schools pretty high, so I would agree with that A assessment.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, moving on to some final questions, what does the future look like for the school system?
I think the future's bright. We've got a lot of good things going, as I mentioned. I think we're going to finish this school year strong. As I think ahead and really think about not just next year, but the next 5 years, I know one big initiative for our Board of Education is how do we, working with the county commissioners, how do we continue to develop our 3 high schools? We're working with 3 buildings that are 60+ years old, and we know that that's a big goal of ours, is to renovate those 3 high schools. So looking ahead, that's obviously one of our top priorities. I think also something I'm extremely excited about is the work that we're doing with Surry Community College and Surry Yadkin Works. I think as a school system, we are intentionally focused on helping students understand all of the opportunities available right here in Surry County for work, for career, for life. And as a school system, I'm excited about that program and how we're helping students connect to local employers, local jobs, helping them understand that in high school, and really exploring some of those job opportunities and maybe deciding what they don't like. That may be just as important as deciding what they like. So mom and dad's not paying some tuition that their son or daughter decides 2 years after they get started that I don't think I really like that.
Right.
So I'm excited about the economic impact that our school system has and will have on the future of Surry County. We are an integral part of the county and an integral part of the success of the county. And I think we've just got to continue to work hard together. We've got a strong relationship with Surry Community College, and working together, we're all going to be stronger. So I'm excited about the future.
Good. Yeah, Surry Yadkin Works, that is a great program. I wanted to praise that program. Before I move on to the next question, which is, Travis, is there anything you'd like to talk about or share with us that we haven't already discussed?
I think you've heard this throughout, but I just want to say to your viewers at home, our students are amazing. Our students have a lot to offer, and you can't always believe what you see and hear on the news media. There are great students in our schools that want to make a difference in our community, and they already are making a difference. And so let's set the bar high for each other. Let's set the bar high for our students and continue to work together to grow our county. Obviously, as we look at some of the challenges in this county, affordable housing.
Right.
We're the largest employer in Surry County, and I think about where will our future teachers live that's affordable. I think about jobs.
Right.
Where will people work here in Surry County? And I always kind of come back to our students, and I hear these stories about students that have left us and they're working at Wayne Farms, or they've left us and they're working at Smith Row Construction, or they've left us and they're working at the hospital. All are making an impact on this county, really not just now, but for a generation from now.
Right.
And that's powerful. So the more students we put into that workforce pipeline, the bigger bang for the buck that people are going to see in the future for Surry County. I'm always enamored by the natural resources of our county. We are just blessed to live in a beautiful part of North Carolina. Who wouldn't want to live in Surry County?
Right.
And so I believe the county is primed for growth.
Right.
And again, collectively working together, school system, businesses, parents, we're setting this county up for great success in the future.
Well, Dr. Reeves, thank you so much for joining us today. We hope to do some more of these sit-downs in the future. And to the viewers at home, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed learning so much about Surry County Schools. There was a lot that Travis shared with us today that I didn't know. That's why we do these. So thank you again for watching.
Thanks for having me, Nathan.
You're welcome.